Yo guys, Theo here, Uncommon Sense. It's time to break the food part of this Christmas dopamine fast. I had a little change of plans actually, a slight change. So we're here on the fourth day, I'll be eating and I'll tell you all about the rest afterwards. I'm gonna tell you about the little tweak I did to this fast. I'm gonna tell you everything else I'll be eating today. I'm gonna tell you about a workout I did this morning, like over 80 hours fasted, and just share some thoughts from my experience from this time. But it's tradition that I break the fast on camera, so I know I took a little clip to show you better. Here we have pickled herring, love it. We have potatoes, we have some sour cream for those, we have some pickles, and then some orange juice. So without further ado, start with a pickle here. So now it's been like 90, just under 90 hours since I ate any calorie at all. Oh, pickles, I always love them, but this is the best time to have them. Oh, and then go straight for a piece of herring, potatoes, some sour cream. So good, so good. I gotta have another one. You gotta see me enjoy another one. Okay, let's see. I have many things I want to tell you about. I haven't decided, but since I'm breaking with the food now, I had to catch it on camera now. See if I divide this into several videos, but now I'm gonna enjoy the rest of this for myself. Alright guys, I decided I'll save the workout clips from today for a separate video, just so I can take some more time to elaborate on things without making this video a huge one. But I'll say that I was surprisingly strong. 85 hours fasted, okay? It was been some time since I did a workout like that, and I hit a few training personal bests actually, so yeah, we'll have a separate video about that. I'm sorry, I'm in this very aloof mode now that I've been fasting and breaking it, but what I'll be eating more, so I'll be eating more just rice and eggs after my sauna. I'll have some beef, I have some potatoes left, maybe I'll have some rice. Also, I have my protein yogurt. It's like what I try to do, someone like me, that clearly I don't struggle with getting lean, and I'm gonna go back into bulking, right? So I try to eat a bit more on a breakfast day, but focus is on carving up and getting protein, especially since I trained, right? And I just try to keep the fat a little lower, specifically on the days when I break it. Like even if I go back to bulking, I just, there's no reason to just rebound a ton of weight. Like I wanted to create room for bulking again, right? And that's just what I've seen sometimes, that if you eat a lot after breaking a fast and you go high fat, high carb, everything, that's when you can regain a bit more. But yeah, that's what I'll be eating more. But okay, I finished that plate of food. I had another one with the same foods, maybe slightly smaller. I went to put on the sauna and are trying to catch the very rare being that is the winter sun in Sweden as I talk to you guys. I'm getting a little tired, it's typical. You're in this hunter state, some elevated stress hormones in a nice way, on the fast. Then you break it and now you're fed and comfortable again. And also, deeper into a fast like this, sometimes you start sleeping a bit worse. Like I slept well, but specifically tonight, like I woke up after 2 hours once and had to be awake for an hour, and it's not super high quality sleep. So I'm just a little right now. But okay, why I decided to break the fast with food today, it actually in my mind, it was something I left it open a little bit, that like the main point for me this year with this Christmas fast was the dopamine fast part, getting away from my stimulants that I realized I lean too much on, right? Nicotine, snus, tobacco pouches, not a smoker, coffee, caffeine, right? And so that was the main thing. And the annoying part is, of course, like someone like me, I want to lead by example, and I talked about fasting It's a test of integrity. Can you do what you said you were going to do, right? And so a little, because I don't want to lie either, even if it's like I know that it's for the right reason or whatever, but I don't want to be like, because that's a thought that occurs, like, should I just to not have to explain and do this nuancing, and I just be like, oh yeah, no, I just did it all the way, because no one would ever know and it doesn't matter, right? Because like I am big on, especially if you're new to fasting, you should definitely like do whatever it takes to go to, like, if you said like 72 hours without food, you should definitely do that, right? Like when it comes to me, I've proven enough to myself that I can do whatever it, like I've done so many different kinds of fasts. This particular fast that we're doing now, I've done 5 times before, the 111 hour version. That's what it kind of ends up being if you start it in the evening and then go 5 days but break it a little earlier on the 5th day, right? So my head, it was kind of, I was focusing more on like the stimulants, right? And then yeah, you know, I just felt so, I'm going to talk more about the fast, what it was like, but today I just felt so very, just good without them, and I feel like I've gotten what I want from a food fast anyway, and I just wanted to go back to training, honestly. So instead, because maybe otherwise I would have like started drinking a bit, because I'm not planning on quitting these completely, right? So maybe I would have started have some coffee and some snooze today, right? But I decided that since I'm feeling pretty good, I'll just I'll train, right? And I start eating food again, and then I'll push this, at least wait until tomorrow, but honestly I think I'll push it into the next year and really think about how do I want to reintegrate snooze and coffee, right? Because I do want to I like them. I think they serve a purpose, but also because I think I'm just not quite, even if I feel good right now, I'm not sure that I'm there when I just can quit both cold turkey. I don't even want to, you know, but what I'm saying is that I can definitely see that if I make the decision, like, okay, I will stop, I can just see how life gets stressful or something, and then I feel like, oh, I need something, I need some vice, and I don't feel good about the way I went back to it, and then, you know, it's funny how it is, then you kind of rebel out against yourself. And the point is that I think reintegrating them in a mindful way before something like that happens, I think in the end I'll have a better relationship to it than trying to just and then ending up in a situation like this, right? So pretty much the food part was cut off a day. The dopamine fast part was like extended at least 2 days, okay? But just, okay, I would just want to talk about the experience, right? So I already made a video about going to hell for the contrast, right? That's pretty much exactly what happened. Honestly, I felt surprisingly good the first day when I come out there. I mean, the first day it's not as surprising. The surprising part was that I was actually still feeling quite good the next day. Like, not many withdrawals. Like, yeah, of course, because I'm gonna be thinking about it when I'm by myself, bored like that. It's like, oh yeah, that would be nice, but I didn't get any like symptom of like I'm feeling bad. It's more like, this would be nice right now, more than like, oh, I have a headache or something like that. In the evening, on the second day though, that's when I started getting like a big headache. And yeah, you know, what I'll talk about is someone, I would have liked to read that out loud here, but I guess I can post it here too. I made a post on Instagram based on someone asked me, like, can you please make a post how you pass the time on the fast? And of course I read this when I was at my like worst on this fast, and I got so annoyed reading it. It's like, it's the fucking point, bro, to not do anything, to pass time. That's what people do all the time, you know, in little ways, in big ways. Escape reality, not have to deal with just your own experience. Maybe that things are a little boring, maybe that you're a little bit in pain, maybe that when you for once aren't like stimulating yourself, well, with coffee or snooze or whatever your vice is, or eating, you know, screens, you know, there's for once maybe time to notice some shit going on with you that you need to lean into, you know, figure out. So I know this guy is probably just looking, but the thing is, this particular guy, I mean, I could have just asked like, hey, so how do you pass the time on the fast? Like, what are you doing out there? But I know, because he has asked me before, clearly he wants to distract himself as much as possible throughout the fast. I just asked him why, but I made this post to explain that, look, That's the entire point. I don't do anything to pass time here. Like, I'll tell you exactly that, because I made that nuance in the same post, that some degree of escapism, like as a means to a higher goal, is okay. Like, if it takes someone other than me, for instance, if you really really struggle with food, you have food addiction, you want to get into fasting, you want to lose weight, you want to get through a fast, then it's like, okay, whatever you can distract yourself with instead of food, that gets the job done, like, great. Then there's some degree of escapism for a higher end, right? But also, like, particularly this kind of fast that I did now, it's like the entire purpose is do as little as of that as possible. But of course, for me, it was a big thing that I just want to detox from these stimulants, right? So what I did was, like, in the morning when it's like pitch black there anyway, I took a sauna, and then I would watch something on, like, my PC, something on YouTube, some movie or something. Then we got bright there, I would go down, take a cold plunge, I would come back, take another sauna. Then I would just, like, walk around the island, I would make a little fire, little things like this. And then again in the evening, I would use the screen a little bit more. Like, that's what I did. But, like, how to pass the time? The entire time, pass the time with my demons. That was the entire point, I wanted to really feel and think about, like, what is it when I use these stimulants too much, what is it I try to accomplish with myself? What is it I'm kind of running from about myself, If I take it away, what is there space to notice, right? And so, long story short, because I'm not going to make this video too long, and I had so many insights on it, going out on an island, whether you're going to be fasting or not, for yourself, and just having this introspective mode. Like, I had tons of time in this kind of to think about many things other than this, but I just realized that, well, someone like me, it's like I have a subconscious comfort zone of feeling a bit like stressed and anxious. So I realized that sometimes I just overuse them to try, because it's like I'm used to that from my childhood, There's navigating in a sort of like mode like that, even though I don't like the feeling. That's it. What you consciously like is not the same thing as what you unconsciously like, okay? So I just realized that. But then it's just escaping boredom sometimes. Like, at the right dose, I like what this can do to just boost me, like my cognition. Do you know that both coffee and tobacco are, like nicotine and caffeine, are linked to higher testosterone? So, I would, like, with a reasonable use, like, I definitely think I get something positive out of it. But I see also sometimes that, that if you worked in an office, just going up to get the coffee, it's not just a little task of it. There's something that's, like, fun. And, like, a lot of people think it's fun to even eat, like, it's entertainment eating, which should be like fuel for your biological vehicle, But so that's also what I see, that I kind of sometimes, when maybe there are like little, when I have something boring to do or whatever, then I lean on this a bit too much, that it just makes it more fun somehow. And I just don't want that, because I can see, as a part of a bigger pattern, I can see that I've been running from little things about myself, right? Like I said, we're not gonna get all deep into me in this video. I already released like a 3-hour podcast. Oh yeah, that was something I was thinking about. That was quite interesting to do a solo podcast interviewing myself like that, kind of knowing that I would come out on the other side of a fast like this feeling like I wasn't feeling bad in that podcast, is not the point, but it's almost like, I kind of knew that I'm like, I should have done it now because I'm in a much better place now, But that was the point. I wanted to do it when I was little lunar night mode, if you will, right? But but overall, great experience. I'm just thinking. Yeah. Now, what I realized many things about myself, one thing is that I'm just gonna go for it, I'm just gonna go for it. I am jacked, I am stacked, I am Giga Chad. I was thinking about this when I was writing the post, and I had this guy in mind, and I'm like, when was the last time you didn't just pass time, when you actually just sat with your different varying degrees of trauma, pain, discomfort, heartbreak, suffering, whatever, different degrees of that, when you just sat with it, and I was like, what is going on with me? What do I need right now? What am I feeling right now, And I see this as sort of shadow work, you know, leaning into the dark and that. And I was just thinking as I'm writing this post that it's like I'm talking in sort of a dramatic way, you know. But it's kind of like, you know, it's like you can't be a man in a right way anyway in this day and age, right? Like we become soft as a society, like we don't go to war and stuff with the same, you know, which is good and all. But it's like if you try to be a man in some sort of, I feel like many can find like, oh, but come on, you went out on a little island for yourself and you're talking about like going to hell and it's like, I'm sorry, I'm born in the 20th century in this fucking gay-ass Sweden where everything is super comfortable and nice like that, so that you instead get tons of other shit, your like childhood demons and just being poisoned by this environment. And I mean both like through the things we eat and air we breathe even and all these things, but I mean also all the fucking shit from all the screens. So that also sort of, I don't want to say traumatization, but you know, damage, right? It's like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm bored here, I'm trying to do some fucking about this, you know. Bah! Yeah. And I decided that I'm just going for it now. I'm representing the I love you guys, and I love you guys masculinity. I love you guys, and if you have any problem with that, go fuck yourself masculinity, you know. I decided that I'm just gonna assert myself even more, because sometimes, you know, I have those two wolves. I'm a very dual person like that. I can be super cocky, come off as very arrogant to people. At the same time, I really do care. I don't like hurting people's feelings, honestly, you know. I would prefer not to. And I just decided that I just have to be even more fine with hurting people's feelings, you know. That's how awesome I am. No, but the point is, yeah, that was just one conclusion. It's like I should be less afraid of stepping on people's toes and just go full uncommon sense. Yeah, I don't know if you can tell, but Alex, it's like I'm getting tired of talking to cameras and stuff now. But I'd be happy to hear you guys' experience about your fast. That's what I mainly want to hear about in the comments. You know, like comments, guys. I'm gonna do another video. I do holistic bodybuilding coaching. Reach out if you want. It's there in the description. Please subscribe for more content about fitness, fasting, losing weight, building muscle, self-improvement, stoicism, mental health, philosophy, spirituality, mindset. It is a mindset, guys. I don't know which one. Peace.